Hey guys, this is Reggie, one third part of the team from Common Folk Podcast, which you probably don't know, but soon will, cause we about to be popping. Um, I wanted to speak today. This is my first time doing a recording for YouTube, like ever. So, I want to try it out. I want to see what it's about, and today I wanted to speak on careers. Well, particularly my path to careers. And so I was talking with someone today, and I had a conversation where I was talking about like my career path and coming out of college, and I had this mentality when I was getting out of college. There was this going joke. I went to Baruch College, and there was this going joke in Baruch College, like everyone had a connect. You know what I mean? Everyone had a cousin that worked somewhere. Or everyone, it's like, oh, I don't need an internship. I got a uncle that work at Citibank, or I got a because it's a business school, and it's like I got an uncle that works at Citibank, or I got an aunt, or I got my mother works at this, and everyone thought they were going to have like this connect that would get them into some job, an office job that pays starting 55, 65 a year, and then you're gonna go up and you're gonna lead great lives and become rich, like like that's the dream. And then 2008 happens, the crash, and boom, dream done. If your uncle or parent still has a job, they're definitely not able to get you a job. And I feel like what happened with me was I spent a long time cruising through my life on charisma. I feel like what happened to me was a mix of the market changing because my brother-in-law got out in 2006 with his bachelor's, and I feel like it was much easier back then to get a job than it was by the time it came around for me to go looking for work, which was roughly around 2010, 2011. In 2006, with if I had my bachelor's, at least one internship under my belt, and my level of charisma or ability to speak, man, I'd have landed a job and been fine. But I feel like what happened was 2008 happened and it changed the entire market. It made it so that the degree wasn't enough anymore. Now you needed a degree and 7 years experience, which is like, how the fuck am I gonna get 7 years experience if I can't get the job? And then you need, even internships were saying you need 5 years experience. How do you get 5 years experience for an internship? Like, please explain that to me. Like, the internship's supposed to be the experience. Like, you're not paying me, but to each his own. So I feel like what happened to me was I perused and cruised through my life on charisma alone. Like, people liked me, and I was, funny and charismatic and well spoken, and people like to listen to me speak. So, I kind of just cruised on that. You know what I mean? Life was easy. Like, oh, you want to hear me speak? Whatever. Like, I'll talk to you, bag this girl's number, bag that girl's number, or, talk to a dude and people want to be cool and be down and be like, talk to me or whatever. And that's how I got like any position I really got, I didn't work for much. And then I realized 2008 happened, and I'm getting out 2010, 2011. I'm in the hole, like there's no jobs, there's not, I'm. Whereas when you get out with your, and the other thing is, I got out with my bachelor's. I'm like, I'm not working at a Foot Locker. I'm not working at a. I don't want to work in retail. I want to like work in an office because I got my bachelor's, and that means more to me. I'm better than you people, and I should be able to do more than you guys are doing. I got my bachelor's. And that's what I kept thinking. But that wasn't the case. Like, nobody told me, like, everyone thought they were gonna get in this big four or whatever. And my parents were very like, my mom, she was, my stepfather. My mom meant well, she wanted me to do well with my life, but she was like, go into finance, go into finance, go into do be a doctor, be a lawyer. Like, if you don't know, if you're Haitian, if you're not a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or a businessman, you're a disgrace to the family. Like, those are your options. Like, so for me, I knew I was a talker, and I knew I could dance, and I knew I liked speaking, and I could speak at forums and stuff, but I never knew that there was an option for me in terms of a career to get into the industry of speaking or journalism or anything like that. I didn't think of these things because they were not options to my family. And I did what my mom told me to do. My mom said, get a good job and, go out there and be somebody, make money, like you got to take care of your money first, then you could do what you want after the fact, which some part of me still believes in to some extent. As long as you have responsibilities, you need money. But I realized that you can do that and follow your dream. And I feel like our parents fought us on this concept of make the money, then go follow your dream after the fact, when what we could have done, or what I think was possible, was if you follow your dream, the money will come regardless, because you'll do it more passionately and you'll push towards it stronger. And I feel like that was not an option for me. Again, it wasn't because my mother wanted me to do terrible or she didn't like it. It's just she didn't know any better. In her, for her time, that's what worked, you know. And then I realized, like, when I did the math of, like, for instance, one of the major four banks that everyone wants to work for. When I did the math of how many people at those banks make 200,000 a year, right? And then I did the math on how many black people at those banks make 200,000 a year. I had just as much of a chance of getting into the industry on my own merit, and speaking and at different forums and events and making it that way. The problem I had was I didn't, like, when you think about the industry, like when you think about talking or talk radio or podcasting, or just rapping or singing, everyone has this idea that it's who you know, so therefore if you don't know anyone, you won't make it. And to some extent that's the case. But then when I found out how hard it is to get into finance in certain positions, then I realized, like, it's who you know all around. I mean, of course those things are based on your resume and your GPA, which wasn't that great in my end anyway. And of course those things count, but it really is who you know with these positions. Just as much as it was, it's all a popularity contest. I really could have just jumped into the industry and had just as good a chance as making it, and end up making 100 to 150,000 a year doing what I actually want to do or am actually interested in, as opposed to those that tried to do finance and, you know what I mean, trying to do, 200,000 a year doing something they actually hate, which was my case. I had the same chance, like, numbers wise, especially being a black male. And it was and the problem with me was I wasn't admitting that the part that I played in my not having a job or not finding a career as much as I should have. And I feel like, mixed with the market had changed and I wasn't prepared for it. Like, a lot of us millennials we thought we were gonna get a job. Like, I knew, like, I get out, I get my bachelor's. Like, it was like, one, getting out of high school, don't go to college. It's not even an option. Like, go to college. Then you go to college, and after college you get a job, and that's how it goes. It was supposed to be streamlined. I don't understand, where did I go wrong? And then after that I jumped into, I went into retail because I had no choice. Then after retail I went into sales to some extent. Like, I did finance and internships wise, and then maybe like one or two jobs, and then after that I hopped into retail because that wasn't working. I kept getting fired or laid off or not asked to stay. And then I went into retail positions. Then after retail I went into sales, like subletting to some extent. Then I got into hospitality. Then after hospitality, during hospitality I was bartending and doing all types of things, just to, make ends meet. And then after that I got into fashion, retail, but fashion, higher end. And then, I did bartending after that for a little while, then, and serving. Then I got into fashion. And my problem was, after fashion, like, I got depressed. Because it was like, I'm like 26 and I'm not nowhere near where I thought life was supposed to be. Like, I'm supposed to be like, getting, even if I don't have a wife, I should have my own place. I should have my own money. I should, be saving to buy and renting right now. I have a better car, and life just didn't seem like it was panning out the way it should have. And I got into a real kind of deep depression that I didn't even know I was getting into. Because I was such a happy person in general. I didn't realize that I was depressed, because and then when I realized it, it was like an epiphany for me. It was just like, yo, like, you're sad, bro. You're sad more than you're happy. And it's like, even though you're drinking and you're having fun and, you're sleeping with women, you're doing all this stuff, you're not happy. You know what I mean? Those are momentary bites of happiness. This isn't really how I feel. And I realized that I felt that way because I wasn't fulfilling anything that I thought I should have been. The checklist wasn't being met. And then I realized, when I got deeper into my depression, was that even with that checklist wasn't what I really wanted. That checklist was what I was told I should have. So even my depression hadn't even started really, because I thought I should have more things than I had, when in reality I should have more things than I had. But did I, even when I got those things, when I started talking to other people, that had those things that I wanted, an apartment or a car or, a good job, career, and then I started realizing they're not happy. And I was like, Like, misery loves company, and it feels good to some extent to know that other people are going through the quintessential depression that you're going through. Like, I was going through like there was something existential happening to me. I was feeling sad and I was feeling low, and I'm like, nah, there's I must be the only one feeling this. So I was kind of, I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. And then when I spoke to other people, I realized like, nah, like this is a thing. Like, there's a lot of people going through this. I'm not alone here. Um, and I felt like, I was like, it made me feel a little better. But at the end of the day, okay, you're sad, you're sad, you're sad, I'm sad. I'm still fucking sad. Like, it doesn't matter if all of you guys are sad. I'm sad. Like, that's the big deal. Reggie's sad. So then I started thinking. I sat down and I thought three things. I was like, what do I like to do? What am I good at? How can I monetize it? Those are the three questions that I remember was the start of me digging myself out of my depression. It got worse before it got better, even after asking those questions, because then other things happened. But still, those are the three questions that I really started pondering. Like, what do I like? What am I good at? How do I monetize it? I kept thinking, and then I realized, like, yo, I like talking. I'm a good talker. Big, nobody can get me to shut the fuck up. Like, it's never a thing. Try. Godspeed to you if you try. And then I realized, like, okay, I like talking. At what form? Do I want to give seminars? Do I want to speak, on a podcast? Do I want to speak on a radio show? What do I want to do? How do I want to speak? Then I was realizing, like, my friends were into podcasts. And I was listening to, like, Joe Budden's podcast, who at the time I couldn't stand him. I liked his point of view, and I couldn't stand him because I thought he was kind of a hater. But I realized, like, nah, that he really believed what he thought. He wasn't hating because he just because you don't agree with someone else's point of view, or you say someone else is doing poorly, does not mean you're a hater. Sometimes you're just saying the truth. But then I said, you know what? And how do I monetize it? Like, I'm like, okay, so I want to try podcasting. And at first I tried on Facebook Live, like just talking with me. And then I tried talking with a friend. And I needed to talk with somebody that was insensitive, just like myself. You know what I mean? That was not, I cannot deal with people that like my family's a very rough family. Like, you could have the deepest, darkest secret in the world, and it's gonna become the family joke at Thanksgiving. Like, there's no such thing as like, you should, I'm so sorry about your loss. It's just like, oh shit. They're looking at you like, oh my God, you got divorced? Oh, loser. But you know, it's just our way of coping with things because we weren't taught to be sensitive. We didn't know any better. So that's just the way it is. That's why I joke about everything. Like, I could laugh at essentially every part of my life. Don't think that if you think you're critiquing me, understand that I already did that. Don't think that there's anything you can say to me that is going to upset me more than what I think of myself. When I look in the mirror, I don't look and go, ooh, that man looks good. I look in the mirror and I go, what can I fix? I'm looking at my outfit to perfect it. I'm not looking at my outfit saying it looks good. Is it that, so that's how I see things. And sometimes to my own detriment. Self-deprecation is a good thing, but when you take it too far, it becomes self-loathing. And I've done that before. And so then when I started thinking about like what I want to do and how much money I want to make and how I want to do, I thought to myself, I remember Dave Chappelle said on one of his stand-ups, he said that if what my father makes to like take care of his family was like, let's say $100,000. I don't remember if that was the number. But if I can make $100,000 telling jokes, because that's what he wanted to do, I can make $100,000 a year telling jokes, then I am successful as far as I'm concerned. If I can take care of my family and take care of my responsibilities and do all these things doing the thing I love, I'm successful. And I was like, you know what? That's a good attitude. So I've been working towards it. I mean, do I have other jobs? There's other jobs I'm in and other things that I'm doing. But this is my dream and I'm attempting. And I did it because I just felt like I was tired of waking up every day and feeling like I'm settling for mediocrity. Like, I didn't feel mediocre. Like, when I walk into a room, people tend to say, oh, you take over, you missed your calling, or, you're a great talker, and everybody wants to hear what you have to say. Everybody's always laughing when I'm around. Everybody's always down to hear what I have to say, and I always make really great points. But I felt every day I woke up with this overwhelming feeling that I am mediocre. I am no more special than anybody else. And I didn't like it. And I remember, like, I think other people have the same feeling because a lot of my friends, a lot of people I knew got into scamming, credit card scamming. And I feel a major part of that credit card scamming thing that a lot of people, most of those people had bachelors. saying something. So a lot of those credit card scammers I knew had bachelors, and they were making like 7, 8 thousand a week type shit. You know what I mean? And I remember looking at them like, because at the end of the day, like no matter how you put it, they always say it's a victimless crime or nobody is hurt or whatever. No matter how you want to put it, you're stealing. That's what you're doing. It's just what it is. You can't. You could try to word it or play with it however you want because you're taking from someone's credit card. Oh, the bank is insured and they'll give you your money back. Blah blah. But you inconvenience that person. At the end of the day, it's not your money. You're stealing. But so I was told myself I'm not gonna be a thief. But eventually, everybody does their own thing, and you look at these people and you're like, damn, son, like they're making a lot of money, and I started hating on them. Like I didn't say it out loud because I'm not a natural like hater, but inside of me I was just like, I want that chick, I want that belt. You know how many weeks I'm gonna have to work to get that belt or get those pants or Balmain or Givenchy and do it. And I couldn't, and it was frustrating me, And I realized that as this scamming thing went under, a lot of these people disappeared. Like I'm talking about people that have 5K followers, 6K followers. I don't see them anymore. I don't even see them post. It seems like they went into hiding the moment they know their materials could no longer show who they were, because I guess, if I have to guess, I'm sorry, I'm thinking as I'm going along with it. What defined them were the things that they got. And I realized as soon as they didn't have it anymore, they couldn't keep up with what they should have, or what they should have based on Instagram. They didn't want to be seen anymore because all these people disappeared. They like vanished. There's a whole crew of people I see on Instagram all the time posting the flyest shit and the dopest parties with the baddest bitches just chilling, and I'm looking and I don't see none of them. You know what I mean? So I feel like they had their own issues too. Like they were going through the same existential depression I was going through, except they put that into their clothes and into their fashion and into their cars and into their women and into their bottles, and it picked them up. It made them feel better. It made you feel like somebody. Those clothes, those bottles, that money, those Instagram posts helped them not to feel that mediocrity that I was waking up with every day, except I didn't have the money and I didn't have the scamming. I didn't have the cards. I didn't have the pieces. My pieces weren't, I wasn't DN. I wasn't AP. I wasn't approved. I wasn't able to do that. They had that. So they had that time. But when it went away, that emptiness, that void was still there. And I realized that I didn't want to fill that void. I wanted that void to go away. You know what I mean? I didn't want to fill it with clothes and sneakers. I mean, I like clothes and sneakers, but I didn't want that to be what made me feel better about myself. I didn't want that to be the reason I got girls or the reason I was happy. I wanted those to be a symptom of my already existing happiness. You know what I mean? I want those things to come when I already am doing the thing I love, that's making me money, that's giving me a sense of purpose. And I didn't feel that way. And then I started talking. I realized, like, I don't go to therapy. I probably should. I have a whole host of issues and anger problems and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like I don't go to therapy, but when I speak on these podcasts, and I speak very honestly as I can, without, getting in trouble. I mean, but for the most part, I speak. Even if I could get in trouble, I'm going to speak on it. I feel like I am doing a lot better. Like I feel like it's therapeutic for me. It's a release. It's a chance to be able to speak on things on a level that I've never been able to. And be honest, because I'm speaking with my friend. And I'm speaking with our DJ and my friend, and my friend is just, we're honest with each other, and I don't know, it makes me feel good. So I feel like if there's anything you could get from this message, I guess from this video, it would be that mediocrity is not okay. It's not what you should accept. It's not what you should never wake up and feel like you're not doing what you should be doing. And to kids and to anyone else, I feel like it's not okay to just live this life where you feel like, I gotta do what I gotta do. Living to do what you gotta do is the worst. Getting up and hating your job every day is the worst. Now, even when you get into the things you love, there's gonna be things you don't like about it. But at least if you're overall doing what you generally love, or at least working towards your own dream, it will be yours. You're not giving to someone else's dream, some company, some corporation, some bureaucracy. You're giving to your own dream. I can't wait for the first day that I make a dollar that I didn't get be given or steal. Because those are the only two ways I've ever gotten a dollar. Like I've taken it or I've been given it. But I can't wait till the day I make my first dollar, knowing that it's part of my dream, would be the happiest day in the world. I don't need to be a billionaire. I could just, that would be an accomplishment for me, you know? Um, I, I don't know. I feel happier just speaking. And I hope you guys like what I have to say. Again, this is my first video. Listen to Common Folk Podcast. We're gonna start putting videos up on YouTube. This is my first video, and just wanted to give this give this a shot. I was a little nervous, so critique, be easy, be nice. But give me feedback. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me what if you agree with any shit I said, or if you think I'm fucking ludicrous. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. If you went through anything I went through, if you're going through anything I'm going through, please, or I went through and I'm still kind of going through, talk to me, comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. It's Reggie, regular Reg from Common Folk, and I'll see you guys later.